Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, a show that examines all aspects of sexuality, from physical to emotional to spiritual. Join our hosts as they discuss age-old questions, common misconceptions, and the latest topics surrounding sex. They'll tackle topics about sexuality from the complicated to the hilarious and everything in between. GSMC Sex Podcast is your show for all of your questions about sex, even some you might not have thought of yet.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, today's topic is dating, and dating safely during the, in this time of COVID. And as we go on through the segment, we'll talk about some apps that are out there, some dating apps, some sex apps. And, you are practicing safe distance, but there are ways in which to just pick up someone for sex, and that's what these sites are for. So, let's get started. Now, obviously, this coronavirus out there, and we having to practice, social distancing. Dating sites have been one of the biggest things that have been blowing up, because what's the best way for a single person to bide their time during this in-house, no interaction time? Through the internet and online dating. We don't know what's going to happen, but hey, until they come up with a vaccine, this is what we need to do, because we can't go out to that club and party and socialize, or just go out to some event right now due to what is going on. But there are questions you ask yourself. Will COVID-19 affect your love life? Should it? And if so, in what ways is it important to alter your typical dating behaviors in order to keep you safe? Obviously, we all, there are still people out there who are looking for that partner, that ideal partner. For those of you who already have the partner in your life and you're living with them, kudos. But there are some of us out here who don't have a partner right now. So there are a lot of apps that are out there, and this right now would be the safe way to go. I mean, you can either go in and go straight onto a sex site, because they are there, and pick somebody up in your area. And you can video chat now and be live and just do sexual things via virtual, but get your kicks off. This is a safe way. Although some, we do want to get out there and we do want to get back in the groove of things, but right now this is what life has brought us. So we must stick with it, as tormenting as it is at times. But other than that, it's not going to, dating is hard enough when there isn't COVID there and when we never had this pandemic. But now that this is here and it is real, dating has kind of sort of changed over. I mean, now we have our apps, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Snapchat, what is it, Zoost? I'm probably saying it wrong. Again, Tinder and all those. We have adult friend find, out there. There are a lot of online dating apps and sites that you could, so we can't go out and do a lot of stuff, but yet you still want to meet that match and get that sexual connection going. Most of these apps are now making them virtual and live so that it makes it better. I know it's kind of difficult as it is to go to online dating with some horror stories, shall I say, that are already out there that have happened, and it is real. The problem is this is an outlet to meet somebody, and if you want to meet somebody, you're going to try it. So this is a handy tutorial, just to get you in the right direction and have you working with regards to, picking somebody up. And possibly when this is all over, it might go beyond that as well. So, now, here are some date ideas that lower your risk of testing positive for COVID-19. Now, if in the end you do go on to online dating, go low key. Just be very low key when you're on there. Don't go crazy with it. Go slow. Here is Netflix on there where you can, have that date and do it virtually. You have Netflix. They're finding ways to put that in. So just be very low key. Don't go crazy with anything. If you can, or if you want, finally you actually are talking and you actually do want to meet, do pick places that are less populated so that, if you go for that table's got about 6 feet in between you, and you can practice the social distancing and at the same time be outside on a date and be able to pick up or find a prospective partner for you. You got to be really careful. I mean, right now what we're doing is, yes, we're opening back up businesses. We're going through phases. But we can also look at that as government's way of boosting the economy before they start to shut it down again. So remember that these date plans that you do, or, you're on these websites, keep it low key. Don't rush to meet each other. And if you do come to the point where you say that you are going to meet up, do find a place that is not cramped, able to sit across from a table 6 feet in distance, or at least with a considerably good distance. Face masks, always good, seen as they're law now, unfortunately. And I know that, it is difficult to breathe without in them and to hear. So, yes, some of the difficulties with this, or at least when you are virtual and you're doing live chat, you can actually have your mask off and talk to that individual. So, and now, like, instead of heading to, like, that social place, that trendy bar, opt for something simple, like a walk in a spacious park. And this still allows for good conversation without super close contact. So these are ways in which you can meet up and remain safe. Always have your hand sanitizer on you. It's not better than soap and water, but in the situation of not being able to have soap and water readily available to you, it is the next best thing. So do have your hand sanitizer with you. It is better than nothing, and it wouldn't hurt to bring along a little, a little squirt bottle of the stuff when you, for your walk. So these are ways that you can, go out and socialize, or even socialize and date. It could be purely sex that you want. They have these websites out there. You can get on there, and the women are already naked. So, depending on what you want to do, are you looking for that long-term relationship? Well, then, in times of COVID, this is what we need to do. You might, want to start out with a dating service. Facebook even has one now. There are a lot of them out there, and they are altering or updating, shall I say, their sites to match with what is going on with our pandemic situation, to take advantage of it. Right now, that is your club. Online dating. You may have never thought about doing it before, but you want to meet somebody. Right now, it is something that's out there. Heaven only knows. You do not know what is going to happen. Like I said, we'll get into the sex sites where you can just go right on to those, and that's all you want. That's all you will get. A lot of these sites claim to be free, and then when you go on to sign up and you get all the way through, it does ask for money, so they're not free. So just remember that. I don't think I've seen one yet while researching that was completely free, although it says it was. Is virtual dating safer than IRL dating? I don't know. Let's see. Now, everybody is really trying to, do things that's going to avoid the spread of COVID, although it is going to spread. But as with our educational system, our work system, at least the majority of it, has gone virtual. Everything else is now virtual. So live streaming is now the new norm instead of the IRL. So it is. And this is a way in which to try and maintain a level of socialization in the realm of sex and attraction and meeting and greeting. So they are doing what they are trying to do. Just don't, hope it doesn't remain that way, and to the point where people just do not want to get out anymore, and they'll just stay within the realms of the four walls of their house. Not good. It is good to get out and enjoy yourself and meet people. Obviously, going virtual in this delay in meeting in person, it's going to lower your risk for transmitting something between you and a prospective partner, be it a sexually transmitted disease or COVID. Either way, right now it seems to be that COVID is the big thing that's up there, but one of the other biggest things is sexually transmitted diseases. So remember, it's either or both. So stick with the online for right now. And, kind of sort of really take it slow. I think this is the best way to actually build a relationship and actually find out if something is worth it. Is it meaningful? Is it actually gonna last? Is it something that you want to do, or a partner that you want to be with? Remember, not use and utilize areas and actually forces the conversation to be better, and for you and that prospective partner to actually really get to know each other, and knowing that you can do it online. And then when we are allowed to do all this stuff and you want to go outside of that and meet up, that you'll have some bases right there. So I'm going to take a break here. When I return, we will continue on our subject of dating online and COVID. Safe, not safe, new ways to get around things. So get that drink, get that snack, come on back, get comfortable, meet me here for more Sex Talk with Andra.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Thank you for tuning back into the GSMC podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am still your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now to continue on with our topic that we have been discussing with regards to, dating during COVID. And, sex online and being able to, socialize and pick up somebody on an online dating service, because they are there. Now remember, FaceTime and Skype is also a good thing if you do not want to remain video chatting on one of these sex sites or on the site as live. Well, then swap it over. There are a ton of video chat apps that are out there. Even Facebook has one now. So do look them up, because you might want to utilize them. And that's like one way of, evolving your online dating relationship. Now, remember, you could use this pandemic situation as an icebreaker and just laugh about it and discuss the things that are going on while we are trying to survive here. So, that is a way to break the ice when doing this, knowing that it's probably weird that even if you get onto a dating site and you are talking to somebody, so just thinking in the back of your head, well, we really can't go out. So how far is it going to go? But don't look at it that way. This is an opportunity to hone in on those communication skills. So if it does work and you finally do meet, which now restaurants are opening up so you can go. So that is something that is a positive about this. Now, the question comes up, can coronavirus be transmitted sexually? There is a chance that you can catch it. It is, if you meet up, then what are you going to want to do? You're going to want to come physically, either touch, hug, that small kiss, who has been, with somebody that you don't even know if they or haven't they been infected with this, just on the odd chance that they are. There is an incredible high chance that you will catch it. So, yes, that is possible because it is a intimate setting when you're meeting each other and you are now touching, you're kissing, you're doing these things in person. Even a hug sometimes, but if you go in all the way and you just don't care, you're just two horny dogs and you want to get out there and just hump away, go ahead. But remember, if one of you are either a carrier or have been exposed to it, you can transmit that to your partner. You can, if you're going on a first date that doesn't involve any physical contact, more than happy to go with it. Practice your social distancing. Practice your face mask wearing, which is not even a practice anymore. It is on everybody's doors. But remember to, basically end the date minus the kiss. Or, elbow bump, fist bump, whatever, elbow bump. But below a kiss, once you get to the car, you are socially at a length of distance that is acceptable. Throw a kiss. So you're getting a kiss across, you're just not exactly giving the kiss physically to them. Remember, it is a respiratory illness. So kissing or anything like that, probably you can't catch it from sexual penetration or the transmission of semen or vaginal fluids. You can, though, easily catch it from the foreplay, the kissing, the touching, that physical intimacy, which is why we wear our face masks and wash our hands, could lead to you getting it. So it may not be the act itself of sexual intercourse, but it's what leads up to it. The kissing, the breathing in close proximity, all those little things, that intimacy portion is what's going to be the downfall. If you go right in there, no intimacy, boom, there you go, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you may just be able to get away with it, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Kissing, the one thing that, you kind of judge by, and that foreplay, which is that much more of an intimacy, bond building action, is being torn down by this brutal virus. How depressing. So, I mean, remember, COVID-19 is spread through the respiratory droplets of the sneezing, the coughing, the kissing, all those kinds of things. And obviously it is increased with prolonged close contact. Hence, less than 6 feet apart. But if you want to take that risk, go for it. You know that if your partner is not feeling well and you two were talking over the video chat and you could see this and then you asked her or him to go out, it would be in the wise choice to say no, because you don't know what you have. It could just be that 24-hour bug, but just to hold off and to try and risk that or even test those boundaries is not a wise choice. So it would be best to hold off on any intimacy or even meeting them in person. Just let them rest it out and then video chat them again, see how they're doing. Go from right there. But although I know it's kind of hard, it gets even worse that you can't do anything, because every little thing that people do these days, you could cough because food went down the wrong pipe in your throat and people think you have corona. It's got to be a little bit more than that. That was their hell. I thought when all the toilet paper disappeared that it had to start with diarrhea. And that isn't the case. But as more symptoms are being discovered, that is something that comes into play. I believe nausea is another. Headaches, things like that. And just feeling those. So there are ways to entertain your date while you are on the inside. And we will discuss those. So let's just finish out our lovely COVID situation here. And then we will go into those. How is that? So, just out of curiosity, well, not even out of curiosity, actually, we can just go right to that. Sounds good. I mean, remember, by doing this and being in the house and holding off on any initial in-person contact, you are actually holding back and spreading a few other things. Remember, a sexually transmitted disease is one of them. So you either don't want, you don't want COVID, you don't want the STD, and you really don't want both of them together. So play it safe. So there are some at-home date night ideas that you can try. And these are like wonderful, comfortable ways to spend time together without even having to conceptualize some elaborate, over-the-top night on the town. You guys can actually do this in the home. Obviously, if you are going to do this, an at-home date, here are a little bit of essentials that you need to make sure are in place. If you have a roommate, kick them out. Tidy up and phone off. Sterilize the place. Then settle in and just enjoy each other's company. You don't even have to step outside. But again, being the first date, I don't know if I don't find it a wise choice for them to come over to your house. maintain the online dating for a good amount of time. And this is actually a way in which to spend, this is actual online dating, and now going virtually online with the dating is an actual quality time thing that you do. You could talk sex on it. You can talk about some things that you like sexually, what that person likes sexually, who you're interested in, and talk some sex things. Ask different questions. That is what it's all about. It's finding out all about you. So instead of going outside, I know like some couples who are already in the house actually can do even more with in the home, at home dates. So when it comes to the virtual, you gotta be creative. Find a way to play games through the video. You can do the kinky games. And it'll give you, and just do it as like a game back and forth. Feed off of each other's what words and what's being said. And do sexual challenges, or if you want to talk sex. This is a great way for you to find out, is this person who you want to actually go further with. But if maintaining dating from online right now, even when it's virtual, you can still dine by candlelight. So you can have both of you sit down at the table with candlelight and a meal and eat together by candlelight. You haven't had to go outside the house, so which is really good. Try and match it up as much as possible so that when you're looking at each other through the video, it looks like you're sitting at the same table. So there is a way in which to make it fun at the same time. So if you know for a fact that you both have a red tablecloth, we'll put the red tablecloth on both tables. Put a white candle on the table. Both of you do that. Then put wine glasses or whatever, and prepare your dinner. And now you can both sit at the tables and put them. Your phone's going to be right there, or however it is you are doing your video is going to be right there, but it's going to look like you're sitting at the same table, which is pretty darn cool. And another thing would be, now you could, this is really how it gets playful, because you can together make up the menu. So I know that sounds weird, but you can sit there while you're talking to each other and make up a menu for what you're going to eat that night. I'm going to stop here and take another break. When we come back, we'll finish up this topic and how to make the menu for the both of you virtually. So replenish that drink, replenish that snack, come back, sit down, get relaxed again, meet back up with me. I will definitely be back to talk more sex with Andra.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Thank you for tuning back into the GSMC podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am still your host, Andra, with the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, we ended off on having a romantic dinner at home, virtually. We're going to continue on, and later on, in our last segment, I'll go over some sites, dating sites, that claim they're free, but they're not. But I will go over dating sites available, and sex sites, sex dating. That's all they do. You get on there, you want sex, you pick the woman, the man, and go to, go to town. So, when you are getting that table ready, remember we've got the same color tablecloth. We've got the same color candles. Well, let's work on the menu. Decide the menu between you two. And then go out and get the ingredients. Once you get the ingredients, you bring them home. Meet up, make a plan to meet up virtually with your online date and cook together. And when you finally finish and you're sitting down at the table, say things back and forth like, would you like me to feed you your food? Or say, I want to watch you eat that asparagus. If that's what you made, whatever that food is, put a little twist on it. Make it fun. Make it laughable. Because that's what you're there for. That's how you are going to get through this. Eat it seductively. Might be the funnest thing you do. Make funny remarks. Have small talk at the table. Have a toast. Both lift up your glass to the video and clink. As time goes on and say you are still talking, after a few weeks, you want to get a little bit more intimate in this, but just haven't met yet, obviously. Have dinner. Same way, set it up, go through those motions, have something different, but sit at the table naked. Or each one of you take something off at the same time as you're eating. Make it fun, make it enjoyable. It is always fun to try different things. Remember, don't go too crazy, because when you do get in, front of each other, you want to have some more mysteries, but get that feeling going. See how far you can go and go from there. Now, our next one is make a few cocktails. Obviously, you are making them up and you're putting them right on your table. As I said, cheers, clink, clink, clink. And you just tap it to clink it. Now here's another one. You want some music playing in the background while you're eating on your virtual date? Craft the ultimate playlist. and play it. Have a little iPod ready or your stereo or however you do it, and play some music in the background. Try and play, I don't know, you should be able, one person play it, and it should be able to be heard through the mic, so you should be okay with that. Music is now on for your dinner delight. You could also play some board games. Haha, caught you on that one, didn't I? Now, when it comes to board games, you're going to get the same concept as the table. With the board, you both have it. Use picking, say it's Scrabble. They're putting words down on their side, and you can see it. You put words on your side that are going to correspond to that. It is tricky. It will be a challenge, but I think you can handle it. I think you can get through this. And on top of that, as time starts going on, it could be strip Scrabble, where you're starting to take off clothes and stuff. He may ask you to put on a dance for them or something to go with. Remember that. So now here's another thing that you can do. Spend a night in, quote unquote, another country. Get creative. Put some things in the background, both of you, of some place that you're going to go want to travel to. Put it there and try and get some music that's from there, or some things that are indicative of where you want to go in another country. And then you could play that role out. Now this is really honing into your role playing stuff as well. So when you do finally get together, you are gonna seriously know how to play, role play, or you're gonna have some like ideas in your mind already through this. So think about that. Now, obviously offering, well, you could do that as well. Offer a pet sit for a friend. That you're only pet sitting. Don't know how far you want to go with that virtually with regards to spicing up that date. But it could happen. You know, here's the dog, bring the dog in. Oh, look, this is my friend's dog. And obviously your partner's either going to like dogs or not like dogs. And they're going to let you know that. So remember that. This is a way, and this is if you're noticing you're learning about each other, but you're doing it through a virtual date. So this is where this all comes in. As I said before, cook up something in the kitchen together, like I had said. Plan the meal together. Each one of you gets the things that you need, and then you just cook it together virtually. I'm sure they found a way to put a movie where you both can watch it. And I would presume that YouTube would be the one. Now remember, there are Zoom meetings to which you can probably intertwine a movie, a regular movie in that. That's what Zoom is there for. They have their own things going on with sex and the internet right now, where there are, have sex parties that they are holding by Zoom, regular sex by Zoom. Remember, you need a code and stuff and to be invited into a meeting, so not just anybody is in there. I know that sounds a little scary to go and just pick that up and do it, but that's what it is. Now, Another thing that they do discuss is set up your own tasting night. So if you're not a drinker, do juice, where you sit and on one side you put whatever they like, your prospective partner, and then your prospective partner will put the drinks that you like, and then you each try them to see if you like them. For the most part, you probably have tried each other's drink, but this is a way to have a little wine tasting on a first date. Then there's other things where you could basically do absolutely nothing and just sit there. You might want to put your hand closer to the screen so it feels as though you are holding that person's hand and reaching out for them. You could be sitting on your side of the world. He could be sitting on his. And you both put on the TV the same show. So you're watching it together. You can discuss it. You can, laugh together over it. So there are things that do work. They're going to take a little bit of time. They're going to take you to be creative, and creative sometimes is hard. Remember, this is not easy right now in these times. So really figuring out how to get around that is what your job is. So take those within advice, and that would really, really help you. There are a lot of hookup apps out there. Some of the best ones that they claim are best ones, which I actually, the first one off the top, mentioned this in the last segment I did, where Adult Friend Finder, that's one of the top sex sites to find. iHookup is another one. This is best for finding a sexting partner. And it's to find singles to chat online and get off without leaving the house. Sex related. Match, best for finding mature partners. Everybody has heard of Match. So this is where that comes in. Now, they do mention Tinder here, which is very mixed on reviews. You get those individuals that say it's completely and utterly has creepy people on it. And then you get the other people who say, no, there's really nice people on here. Dating online is not easy, nor do I think it would be. So it is one of those things where you really need to work at it a little bit more right now. And it's funny because Match is on a different level than Tinder, which it, has proven. But you can also find on Match a booty call. And I'm pretty experienced one at that, I'm assured. So, the hookup culture and casual dating, also known as a thing that has basically replaced real dating over the past 20 years, apparently. And it is not that easy to get in nowadays. But you do have online dating, which are some of the more elite type, which is one of the dating sites. It's elite.com. eHarmony is out there. Zoosk, which I'm probably saying wrong, but you catch my drift. And they are altering their websites to cater to everything that is going on out there. But maybe you want to just get, everything out there and go for it. That is another one. Now, to talk about some of these sites, Adult Friend Finder, which I have spoken about, has live videos, more monthly visitors than eHarmony makes. AFF, I have no one knows what that means. Oh, Adult Friend Finder, great for finding a down for anything fling. So this is an adult. They're all adult sites, but this one's actually triggered at sex. So if you go on there, you will be, going for the sex. It does cost 1 month, $30. Then if you want 3 months, it's $20 per month, and 1 year is $15 per month. So add them up, and that's how much you will be paying. There is a free version, unfortunately. It will just put you back to the version where you're going to pay. And this is for the Adult Friend Finder. Now, we are going to take our last break here before we get into our final segment and go through some of these dating apps. So, if you want more drink or more snack, do get it now. Come back, sit and relax, and meet me back here for more sex with Andra from the point of view of an older woman.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from a point of view of an older woman. Now, as we left off, and thank you again for joining me back here to finish out our show with, talking about some date sites. I'm going to give you the lowdown on a few of them. Now, we had gone over in the last segment where we ended Adult Friend Finder, which is considered one of the best hookup sites. It does offer live videos and more monthly visitors. They put it in comparison to eHarmony, which makes Adult Friend Finder great for finding a down for anything fling. It does have prices that goes along with it. Now, next one on the list is Tinder, which everybody knows and everybody has probably been on. Now, this is a site that is best for casual sex, and it has upheld its name to that. As it is described, it's our love/hate relationship with Tinder, notwithstanding, We cannot ignore the fact that it's a tried and true option when all you want is some casual sex. So Tinder is there for that wham bam thank you ma'am, just to get your kicks off. And if you just want a blowjob or a hand job or whatever you want to call it, or have somebody go down on you and get you off, it's there for you. Tinder can handle that. Now, there is a free version. Yes, it is compatible with Apple and Android. However, if you want to get more features, obviously, there is a price. 1 month of Tinder Plus is $14.99 a month. 6 months of Tinder Plus is $60, which is $10 per month. And then if you want to have it for 1 year, it is $6.67 a month, somewhere around $80. Might be a little more than that, a little less. Next one of our online dating sites for while we're inside with COVID now is OkCupid. They consider this the best combo of fun and seriousness. Free version, yes, there is. It is compatible with both Apple and Android. However, again, there's always fine print on all of these dating sites and sex sites. If you want to be on the A-list, and they do make it where it is impossible to do anything on your end at the lowest free version, and it kind of forces you into buying these. So 1 month of A-list OkCupid is $9.95. 3 months of the premium service of OkCupid is $7.95 per month. Then you times that by 3. So if that's a month, 7.95 times 3. We are getting a math lesson today too. Now if you want to do 6 months with OkCupid's A-list subscription, it is $6.95 a month. Now we are down to a pretty well-known date site. Tinder is up there as well. OkCupid, I think it's just now coming out of the dungeons, as we say. So the next one is Match, and they are considered to be the best for finding mature partners. If your age makes you feel like a certified creep on Tinder, which generally Tinder does attract very young individuals, Match is more mature place to find an experienced beauty call. So if you want the experience kind of beauty call, go right to Match. There is a free version with everything. Unfortunately, there are prices if you actually want to utilize the site. You can get in there for free, but you gotta utilize the site. It is compatible with Apple and Android. 3 months of paid is $23.99 per month. 6 months, $20.99 per month. Then you have your 1 year paid for $19.99 a month. Now this is a new one. I've never heard of this particular website. It is called Pure. It is best for guaranteeing no strings attached. So if you just want sex, that is all you want, this website is good for that. It is like Snapchat for sex. where hookups are spontaneous and impersonal. So basically, everybody who goes on there is just looking for sex, a blowjob, a tickle down in the nether regions. That's what this site is, and that is what it offers. It is free all the way through, believe it or not, and it is compatible with Apple and Android. So that site is actually completely free. There are no charges on that one. Next one is Clover, which is one I have not heard of either. So this one's new. Best for personal hookup experience. Clover wants to be more than give you an anonymous hot single to bang. And why not actually be friends with your friends with benefits? So it opens up that for you. Obviously, there is a free version compatible with Apple and Android. However, we are back to fees again if we wanted to upgrade to get more of a sexual encounter, or at least the one that you're going to want. So there are always strings attached. So their 1 month premium is $39.99. 3 months of this service is $99.99 a month. So you're paying $300 to have 3 months of service here. It better do a hell of a lot more than just give you a hookup. And then 12 months are at $149.99 a month. So that's a freaking hell of a lot of money. It's almost like close to $1,000, I believe. So yeah, there are some of these you would really need to think about. Next one on our list is iHookup. Now, this is finding a sexting partner. Maybe you just want somebody to talk dirty to you. Shouldn't send you dirty pictures, get you off through their words. This seems to be the place to go. You find singles to chat with online and get off without leaving the house. So they basically get on, talk dirty, so they can make you come. Free membership? Absolutely. Always. It is impossible to find in an app store, so it's best that you go on the desktop. They do have a silver and a gold membership. The silver starts at $29.99 a month. The gold membership starts at $34.99 a month. Rounding up. Here's another one I have not heard of. It's 99 flavors. And believe it or not, this brings us back to the last session I had with regards to it being a site for swingers and finding sex parties. This swingers site lets couples add more flavor to the bedroom by signing up and hunting for matches together. So this one has no free, no compatibility to the App Store, needed on the desktop. For 1 month is $40, 3 months $27 per month, and then 1 year is $20 per month. Now we have another one which is good for BDSM hookups. If you want a little bit of that slapping and dominance, this site is for you. It's called ALT, A-L-T. It is bond over bondage on this BDSM site. What it lacks in organization, it more than makes up for in communication features. So there is considered a free version for this. Obviously, you do not have access to everything on there. Not in an app, but on the desktop. But if you want a silver or a gold membership, there are different tiers in both. The first tier in silver is $19.95 for 1 month. When it comes to 3 months, it is $11 $799 per month. 1 year of silver is $895 a month. Then we go into the golds. Obviously, starting out with that single month at $29.95, then $19.95 per month, then gold, $13.43 per month. Remember, they are there. If you are looking for the same sex, here is one for you. It is actually called Gay Friend Finder. Best for gay men tired of swiping. So this one's actually particularly geared toward just men. You won't find a hookup within the hour, but this is a mature alternative for those who feel Grindr is too impersonal. They do have a free version and a paid version. You have 3 tiers of silver and 3 tiers of gold. It is not in an app. You have to do that one on the desktop. Now, if you want a video hookup, cams.com is your site. Now, with video hookups, they do have these where women come in and you watch them through a video camera and you tell them what they can do for you. On top of that, they are sexually arousing themselves while you watch. And it is for your pleasure to watch them do so. If you want them to use a toy or some extra lubricant, do tell them, and they will do for you. Obviously, there is not a free version for that, and you need to go through the desktop to get it. This is actually by tokens, believe it or not. So it goes 100, 250, 500, 1,000 in tokens, and different prices for each level of tokens. Now, if you're not looking for that casual sex, and you want to meet that person, these are the ones that they do suggest, which is Zoosk, Zoosk, probably saying it wrong. Wouldn't be the first, won't be the last. These are for the people who don't know what they want. So it does have a free membership. It has an app on Apple and Android. And they also, obviously, if you need to use different features, you have to pay for it. There's a 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month plan. eHarmony, obviously, they pride themselves on long-term relationships. There is a free version. Obviously, not everything is available. It is in an app form for Apple and Android with 3 months, 6 months, and a 1 year plan. Elite Singles is the other, and this is for the busy people. And it's a space for ambitious people to connect with like-minded singles who don't have time to sit down and swipe. So there is a free version. There is an app for that on Apple and Android. There is a 3 months package, a 6 months package, and a 1 year package. These are the top ones that they do consider the best hookup sites. There are many, many more out there, but these are considered the top and the best ones to get what you want. Be it just sex in a hookup, or if you want a video where the person will do what you want them to do when they come into the room on the opposite end of the video. And obviously finding adult friends just for that sexual encounter. Adult Friend Finder is there. Tinder is also a hookup app. So remember, these are all out here. There's probably more than this. Remember, you do have your, Zoom meeting sex parties and sex hookups, also FaceTime, Skype, and all of those nice ones. So please do utilize them while you're in the house, because that is the best way to satisfy your urge without wondering if you're going to catch COVID. So that is the end of my show, and I thank you very much for listening to the GSMC podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. As always, practice safe sex, whether it is through virtual or not. If not for your partner, for yourself. I would like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show and write a nice review. That really helps us. Also, if you can, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are there. Thank you, and have a good night.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast.